welcome back to my channel. So today's video has been a bit of a long time coming. I decided to do a video on it a little earlier, a few weeks ago, and I'm only just kind of getting around to it. So I wanted to talk about commissions. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because when I first started as an artist, my idea was, oh, I'll just post my work up on social media and Facebook, etc. And I'll get loads of inquiries and I'll get loads of commissions and it'd be great. I'll be a full-time artist. It doesn't work like that. So what I wanted to talk about today is, so we look on social media and we see a lot of people posting that their commission books are full for a few years, or that they'll post a wildlife piece in before it's finished, that it's sold. We see a lot of successes and we don't tend to see the process behind it. We don't tend to see any of the challenges behind it. It looks like it all just happens by magic. And it can be very, very disheartening when things don't go that way. And the reason they don't go that way is because they don't go that way for anybody. It might look like everything is just a breeze for some of these people, and maybe for the odd person it might be. But that's highly unlikely. There's a huge amount that goes on behind the scenes that you don't always see. So this is the reason that I want to share it, because I think this is really important. So I started doing commission work probably about 6 years ago. And at the beginning, I got very, very few inquiries. And I was like, well, I'm posting on Instagram and I'm posting on Facebook. What more can I do? And well, the truth is there's a lot more that you can do. So when it comes to this, you have to understand that you can't just post and expect people to come to you. You need to put in the work. You need to be consistent. You need to put value across, and you need to be patient. Like I said, it took me 6 years to get where I'm at, and I'm not at a point where I want to be yet. I'm getting there, but it's a long process, and you have to be patient, and you have to kind of be a little stubborn about it, which is what I am, which I think is why I haven't given, well, actually, that's a lie. I have given up on a few occasions when I was younger because I thought, well, I can't do it. Nobody wants to buy from me. Nobody wants my art. Nobody's interested. And 6 years down the line, I have learned so much, and my attitude to it has changed a lot. So first thing, if you are not getting commissions, like constant commissions, a constant stream of commissions, you are not failing. Okay, that's really important to remember. I want to really put that across. You are not failing. If somebody ghosts you, which is what I want to get into, so it doesn't respond to you, or like, ghosting, that's what it is. They don't respond to you. You're not failing. If things aren't going how you expect them to go, you are not failing. So let's get into this. A big thing that that can kind of really throw you off a little bit, or really put a dampener on things, is when people don't respond to you, when you get ghosted. So let me be very clear on this. This happens to everyone. You are not doing something wrong. Yes, there are things that you could do that maybe, like the way that you market, or how long it takes you to respond to people, or there's things like that you can do, but 99% of the time it's not you. Okay, so this happens to everyone, and it's not something that you are necessarily doing wrong. So if we think about commissions, art is not a necessity for anybody. Nobody needs art. Is as much as we might think that we need these like fancy things, we don't need them. And if you think about a purchase that maybe you were going to make that was really expensive, or you're going to put a lot of money into it, most likely you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to buy this and not think about it and just buy it. there was probably a lot of umming and ahhing about it, maybe putting it in your online basket and leaving it for a few weeks, which is what I've done plenty of times, and then decided, oh no, actually I don't want it. Or like, oh, actually I've got this to pay for this month, or this to pay for, or unexpected bills, and you change your mind. And that is absolutely fine, which is the same for anybody who may inquire and then they don't respond to you. They have every right to not respond to you. They don't owe you a response. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be like really harsh. I'm saying that because you need to get your mindset right around this. If you expect and you think that because somebody inquires that they owe you a commission, you're going to have a really hard time with this, with being a commission artist. You're going to get really disheartened, you're going to get frustrated, and likely you're going to direct that frustration at other people, at the people that don't respond to you. You cannot do that. You can't have that attitude, because like I just said, like if there's something that you have wanted to buy that you're putting a lot of money into, you most likely you give it a lot of thought, and a lot of the time you probably change your mind. There are so many reasons why somebody might not get back to you. So if that happens, there are a few things that you can do. But the main thing, leave it alone. Don't pester them. Don't start sending them messages. Why aren't you responding to me? Don't do that. You have to just move on. You can follow up, give it a few weeks, follow up with them gently. Something like, just wanted to follow up and inquire whether you're still interested in a portrait. If they don't respond, leave it alone. That's it. You need to move on. And what you also might find, and what happens to me a lot, is I will get an inquiry and it might get to a point where I'll send them my pricing and I don't hear anything back. Or it goes to the point where they say, okay, I'll send you a deposit, and then I don't hear anything back. It varies so much. But what actually happens quite a lot of the time is it could be a couple of weeks, it could be a few days, it could be a few months, it could be a year. And I'll get a message from that person and they'll say, oh, I'm ready now. How do I send a deposit? Or like, oh, I'm ready now. What are the next steps? So you can't, just because somebody doesn't respond to you, it doesn't mean that it's a no. But you can't expect it to be a yes, if that makes sense. So there's so many situations that can arise that, that might mean that somebody doesn't respond to you. And that's fine. You have to get your mindset right around this. And the biggest thing that I have learned here is to not be dependent on the people that inquire. Now, when they do inquire, you have to give it your full attention. You have to, they are the people that are allowing you to have a business. They are the people that are allowing you to do something that you love to do. They deserve your respect. They deserve your attention. They deserve the best service that you can give to them. That's really important. But do not depend on them. You have to keep on going. What I have found is the best thing to focus on is to put your focus on the number of inquiries you get, increasing the number of inquiries, because even though it sounds kind of businessy, it's just the way that it is. It's more numbers game. The more inquiries that you get, the more likely you are to get more commissions. So the ways that I have found work for me is Facebook groups, posting in Facebook groups that are related to your target market. So for me, I have a pet portrait commission business. I post in a lot of dog owner groups in my local community. I actually posted in one which is like a women's business. It has like 100,000 people in there. I got a ton of people, but you need to be careful because a lot of Facebook groups, they don't want people selling. So you have to pay attention to the rules. If there's rules, don't go against them because you'll get kicked out. And don't be salesy about it unless it says specifically it's a sales group. But so if I post in a Facebook group, usually I will share a piece of work that I'm working on. I will describe it a bit and say, oh, I'd love to know your thoughts, or I'd love to know what you think. And usually I get a lot of feedback from that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, again, that's how it is. You don't expect that when you post that you're going to get loads of feedback. Sometimes you don't. So I've had a post where it's got like 2,000-3,000 likes on it and 50 plus inquiries. I've had posts sometimes in the same group, nothing. So you can't get caught up on that. You can't expect things to just go perfectly every time, because they won't. So they are the main things that I think are really important to remember about commissions. So yes, you will get ghosted. You can't depend on everyone who inquires, but the people who do inquire, give them your full attention, but don't rely on them. Put your focus on building and trying to get more inquiries, and and also the people that do follow you, let them know that you are grateful to them. Let them know like how much you value them, and give them value too. Don't just focus on getting more new people, because then like you're forgetting about the people that have allowed you to get to this point in the first place. So you need to focus on them too. But so the reason I want to share these things is because I think when I first started, I needed to hear this, because I got so frustrated. I thought, why are people not responding to me? Why do people not want to buy my art? Why this? Why that? Why has this person got 3 years worth of commissions and nobody wants mine? It's not you. It happens for everybody. It's just the way that it goes. So the reason I wanted to share this is because when you first start out and you see all this success, it can feel very kind of, it's very disillusioning. Disillusional? You know what I mean? It's really hard, because it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, and the vast majority of the time you're not. So you need to be patient. You need to realize that there are going to be challenges. It's not all plain sailing. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be dips and flows, and ebbs. What's the word? Ebbs and flows. That's the one. There's going to be ebbs and flows. So I'll let you in on my past few months to give you an idea. So over Christmas, I had so many commissions. I was crazy busy, and then it kind of dropped off a little, which is normal. It's after Christmas. It's after the holidays. People spend a lot of money. They're trying to kind of get things back in balance again. So expect that. But I had probably over the last 2 months, I had upwards of about 30 to 40 inquiries. Have a guess how many commissions I got from that? I got 4. Okay? I got 4. And I'm like, that's how it is. I didn't focus on, why, like, there's a dip, or why aren't people responding to me? Why this? Why that? I just carried on. And then it started to pick up again. And that will be how it is. That it happens. So don't feel like you're failing. Don't feel like you're doing something wrong, because it's not you. It's not you. So yes, there are things that you can do to kind of help you along. I'll do another video on that. But the main things that I would say with that is to focus on your mindset, to focus on trying to increase the amount of inquiries that you get, giving value to your current followers and your current audience. And there's so many great resources and podcasts, like YouTube and podcasts and books that you can read that are really helpful to help you to understand where you need to get your mindset, and that what you're going through is normal. So yeah, and in terms of my Instagram and my overall social media, a lot of my focus has been on creating art and pet portraits and just the art side of it. But now that with the amount that I've learned up till now, and the amount and I've had some really lovely messages from people saying like, oh, that post really helped me, or it really resonated with me. And it's really nice because sometimes you put out content and like crickets, and you're like, well, maybe I'm not even helping anyone. Maybe everyone's reading it like, what's she on about? But it's really so the point there is you don't know who you're helping. So my main focus with my content, like moving forward, is to share more of is to be real and honest and share some of the challenges, not in a negative way, like, oh, it's this and oh, it's so hard and oh, this happened and oh, that happened, but to share the challenges to hopefully encourage you and to hopefully like help you if you're in a space where, like I have been and so many other artists have been, where it feels like you're not making progress, it feels like it's never going to happen, if it's you're disheartened. The reason that I want to share these challenges is that we all go through this, and you don't see that on social media. You see it maybe a little bit, but not a huge amount. So I want to share every part of my journey that I can to hopefully encourage somebody else to keep going or to start if that's where you want to go with your creative business. So to kind of just summarize of what I've talked about, with the commissions, it is not all plain sailing, and that's fine. You will get ghosted, and that's fine. Focus on your mindset. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated or angry at people, because that will not help at all. Focus on increasing your inquiries, and just be patient. If you're persistent and you're patient and you have something that you really want to work towards, keep going, because quitting, it doesn't, I've done it a few times, I've quit a few times, and it doesn't get you anywhere. You just have to start all over again. So it's just, it's not the way. I mean, if you get to a point where you're like, oh, this is not for me anymore, or I've changed my mind, I want to go a different direction, then by all means do that. But don't give up because it gets hard, because it's hard for all of us. But what I will say is the rewards from it and the feeling that you get when things start to actually pick up, and they will pick up, is worth all the challenging days. So if you're in a space where you're kind of struggling, I really hope that this helps you and gives you a bit more reassurance that if you're having a quiet time or things aren't going quite how you want them to, it's normal and you just got to keep going. Okay, so yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you guys soon.